The game of paintball is a diverse activity that means many different things to many different people. But to a team originating out of Canada, Edmonton Impact, it means one thing above all others: a quest to be the absolute best. Their adventure started back in 2003 in the rookie division.
Split with Team Peg Factory. We are from Edmonton, Alberta. We're Canadians, right there.
We do a lot of training back here in Edmonton.
Then after over a decade and a half of hard work and perseverance, their Canadian core, surrounded by a select group of elite imported talent, came to define dominance as they railed off 14 wins all over the world during a 4-year run. They hadn't just climbed the mountain, they had become the mountain.
This is it, so big congratulations to Edmonton Impact.
Thank you, Impact! Way to go!
It says a lot. You know, when I think about the boys and 10 years old playing, and you never dreamed of coming this far and how we've come.
But after their success with the win in Vegas last year, they hit a slump with disappointing finish after frustrating performance. But changes were made and new players were brought in. Now re-energized and reformed, Impact's mission remains the same as it always has been: crush everyone on the way to the #1 spot and become the best team ever to pick up a paintball gun. Join us on the Impact Series as we dive into all the on and off field drama that drives this legendary squad and their journey to get back to the top. Brought to you only by GoSports.com. After winning Las Vegas, the road had been a treacherous one for Edmonton Impact in the States. They put up another win on the board in Prague. They were just not getting consistent performances from their roster this year to contend at the last 3 events in the US. World Cup was their current roster's last chance to prove themselves. If they didn't do well here, heads could roll, and we could see a different Edmonton Impact in 2020.
Yeah, we're coming. We're next. Oh.
Quarterfinals, the last quarterfinal set here, the 2019 NXL World Cup here outside of the Gaylord Palms Resort in Kissimmee, Florida. Manny Marshall, I got Leds here from Planet Eclipse, Todd Martinez to help us call this quarterfinal set. And it's an interesting set of battles here. So San Antonio X Factor is about to fight against Edmonton Impact and also the Russians and Damage. So now this is a rematch from the prelims between Russians and Damage, as Damage defeated Revo to get into this quarterfinal match. Now the Russians beat up on Damage pretty good in that prelim match. So it's going to be interesting stylistically if Damage can fix what they did not have going in the prelims against the Russians. Now, San Antonio X Factor and Impact have a long history of playing against each other. You can see the brackets there and how the teams fought through this Sunday bracket to get into these spots. Houston Heat already punched their ticket to the semifinals. So did AC Dallas with that victory over Dynasty, Heat over Uprising. But Impact and X Factor, so for the past 3 years, if we track back, going back into 2018, Impact had defeated X Factor, I think it was 8 or 9 times in a row. But this year in X Factor's rise, yes, Impact beat X Factor, knocked them out of the tournament in Vegas. But since then, it's been X Factor knocking Impact out of the tournament. So Todd, we'll start with you. What are your thoughts on X Factor Impact matchup right here?
Well, I mean, X Factor has just been on a roll, right? You can't take it away from them. And you just really notice it by the way that they go out there every single time. They're just playing with confidence. Their communication is just perfect across the field. They know everything that's going on. And you can expect any guy on that team at any moment to have a big play. So, you know, if they get down bodies, you know, they don't get shaken. They have Jesse Stevens running all over the field. Archie Montemayor is playing different sides of the field. It looks like Impact has really gone to, you know, this is where we want to break out, and then we're going to go kind of methodically by there. You know, it seems like they have a real structure to what they're trying to do, as to where X Factor really seems like they've just been beating people by really just flowing, you know, with the pace of the game after taking a lot of big risks. The big risks didn't work out so well for Impact, but X Factor is just really playing free right now.
Yeah, X Factor definitely looks like they are on cruise control. I mean, they're the best team in the world. So, Leds, you're a big supporter of both X Factor and Impact, so it's good for Planet for regardless. No matter what happens, Planet's winning this one.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts on? We'll start with X Factor. Obviously, you must be pretty proud of them, and you've been supporting them this whole time. They were world champs before, but then it took them 5 long years to put another win on the board.
Yeah, they've been in our camp since before they were pro, way back, and we've been with them all the way through it, and we go up and down with them. You know, we work with our teams quite closely, so it's nice to see them putting it together consistently now. You know, there was always those top sort of 4 or 5 teams, and they would always just below it, and they'd sort of get to this stage and then sort of lose. Now to see them winning back-to-back events, and you know, I'm not sure the points, but the championship's right there now, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd have to go and crunch the numbers a little bit, but coming into this specific tournament, as far as the series title was concerned, X Factor is the #1 team. The Russians are second. The Russians are only 16 points behind them.
Right.
So, and there is a 14-point difference between first and second place, a 27-point difference between first and third. You can see there the rankings, and this was entering into World Cup. So it really was about a 4-team race. AC Heat needed 43, and AC Dallas needed 51. So, you know, there's a 60-point difference between 6th and 1st.
Right.
So depending on how these next couple games shake out, we'll be able to give you a little bit better read on it. But I think that if X Factor makes it into the finals, they'll have the series title sealed up, even if the Russians make it in too.
Right.
So, so that's, you know, that's the situation there. I think
But I'm sure they want to win World Cup as well.
Oh, of course. I mean,
You know?
winning a series title is a special thing because it's just so difficult to stay that consistent. And you could argue over which one is more important. I've had that argument with many people over the years. But winning World Cup is just a special moment. At the end of the year, you've had all year long to get your stuff together, to dial in your lineup and making sure that everyone's on the same page and work on your flaws. And so there really is no excuse at World Cup. And because it's the last event of the year, everyone's supposed to bring their best game, and so that's why it's always been just such a special moment if you're the best team. So let's get a little look here at the My Bandwagon predictions. Hopefully you got your picks in. Hopefully you're playing Sunday Club. You get a chance to win that MacDev Prime. Tampa Bay Damage is a pretty severe underdog, Tier 2 Red Legion. The Russians, 72% of you guys out there think they're going to take it. X Factor, though, 87%, a massive favorite over. Wow. So, how the tables have turned here. Impact did get the win over X Factor to knock them out of Vegas, which they won that tournament. But right now, X Factor is the best team in the world. Big moment for Impact. They could save their year right now by knocking out X Factor here in the quarterfinals. 15 minutes in regulation time. This game is brought to you by Planet Eclipse. And the first to strike is going to be actually both teams, as looks like Jesse Stevens coming off for X Factor and Justin Cornell for Edmonton Impact. And Zane Yakimek flying into D1. He's going to rip a lane cross field. And here comes Archie Montemayor, who won the Golden Barrel a couple events ago. Colt Roberts is going to reposition to get into D1. So a couple moves from both squads, but it looks like they're both sitting 4-on-4.
Rainey Stanzak going to make his first move out there on the Dorito side and take over, looking across the field to protect the wishbone. Nick Laval came out here to the snake side temple, but he's usually looking to launch up the middle. So that first snake attacker, Justin Cornell, walking off the field. Let's see what Impact tries to do without that body over here on this side. J-Rab squeezing his barrel in the back center. Brandon Cornell on the inside of him, mirrored up with Rainey. So Colt Roberts mirrored up with Zane over there on that Dorito side, but Billy Bernaccia with the snake side to himself over here. Let's see if he tries to push it down this wire, but Zane has a great shot right into Billy's bunker. Billy has to wrap to put him in if he's going to want to try and go.
Zane's been playing that spot all tournament long. That's why he's getting the start. And Brandon Cornell has really stepped up after all of those issues he had with his health and his shoulders this year. So what a tough kid, man, to to just heal up and now getting the start. But he might be coming off right now. So Brandon Cornell losing a gunfight down that sideline. Colt Roberts with that kill, and that's going to force Justin Rabikoff across to try to help out Laval here, but Impact is down a body. 4-on-3 situation right now with 13-14 to go.
Yeah, and Billy Bernaccia wrapping the outside, putting the pressure on J-Rab in the back center, forces him to bump out to the snake side cannon. Laval does make his move into that center mini wall. See if he ends up going all the way into the X. But 3 bodies alive. Zane and J-Rab crossed up. Laval's going to crawl into that middle now and see if he can get a kill without X Factor knowing that he's there.
So Nick the Brick getting up there into that center 50. Used to be Laval the Wall, but now it's Nick the Brick. And Nick Laval has played outstanding here for Edmonton Impact. He's so versatile. He can play in the back, he can play the front, he can take over the attack, even though he's a giant, but he's also an athlete. So now it looks like J-Rab can put that swab back into his pocket and move up a little bit and try to get out wide. He dives into that spot and then wraps around immediately, switches hands, now left-handed. Looks like, you know, being a little bit more reckless on the attack here down these bodies, but that has worked out for a lot of these teams. I think why everyone kind of knows that now, even though X Factor is still kind of feeling people out, trying to win these gunfights. Ref's going to check out Zane Yakimek, and he's going to be getting a penalty. It's going to be a minor. That's going to pull out J-Rab. That leaves just Laval up there, and looks like Colt Roberts is going to run him down and make quick work. Impact here after that penalty in this first point. Score is going to be 1-0. So, Leds, do you actually have a favorite in this particular match? I know I don't mean to put you on the spot like this, but you're up here, so I kind of got to.
I think I'd like X Factor to win it. I was there when they won the last World Cup with them, and I was in the pits, and it meant so much to people like Alex. It was great to be there, and I think at the beginning of this season, everyone was expecting Impact, or I was at least, to sort of start dominating again like they did last season, and they've struggled a little bit. And I've got a bit of a soft spot for some of the X Factor guys. With Billy Bernaccia was sort of with the Planet Eclipse guys for years and stuff. So I'd like them to win. But I'd like them both to win, but they can't do that, can they? So,
well, I'm glad you actually gave me a real answer instead of just like, well, I like them both equally. And
yeah.
I'm sure you like the Impact guys. But no, look, everyone loves that underdog story.
Yeah.
And after X Factor spent 5 years making every single Sunday but not winning any tournaments, I mean, you just want to root for those guys. And to win 3 events in a row and to cap it off with a World Cup victory would be really special.
Yeah, amazing.
So, going 15 minutes on regulation time. Russians now the number 2 ranked team, and it looks like Damage is going to be losing both of their bodies on the D side here, and that is not a good break for them. Actually, just 2 players left alive for Tampa Bay Damage. Those Russians, Todd, those off the break shots just dialed in right now.
Yeah, and then they consistently attack the middle of the field. Golev getting up there right now. He can stand over the top of that center brick. They're going to take out Tim Montresor, and Damage going to quickly concede that point.
Yeah, I just want to get that one back and get your 5 bodies back out there. So the Russians making quick work here, and look, man, the Russians beat up on Damage in their prelim match. It was 2:30 in the afternoon, the very first day, Thursday, and they just pretty much slaughtered him. So Keith Brown, that man on your screen, number 9. He is going to need to get it going here on the snake side. He was phenomenal. He really helped them win their next couple games and still make it on to Sunday. They fought out of the wild card round, defeating Revo in a really low-scoring game, 2-1. And Keith Brown, though, was just putting up 3-pack after 3-pack and emerged into the top 5 in the Golden Barrel race. The Golden Barrel brought to you by Carbon Paintball. Let's look at the top killers here for San Antonio X Factor. Archie, no surprise there, leading the pack. 24 confirmed. He won the Golden Barrel at the 3rd event in Philadelphia. And then Billy Bernaccia, he's also up there. He was the MVP overall in their win at the last event. Colt Roberts has been just on the precipice of winning his own MVP here, and he's been definitely playing incredibly well, the veteran, on a pretty treacherous Dorito side of the field. I mean, Todd, that D side has been rough. It's been hard over there to be consistent, and Colt Roberts has.
Yeah, he definitely has. I mean, Colt Roberts won 3 events this year, one of them with Impact over in Europe. And he has just been on fire this whole season. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw Alex Goldman come out at this point. I think he is over there this one. I liked what they did last match when they put him over there on that Dorito side.
Me too.
So looks like he's probably going to stand up and run that way. Yep, there he is.
Under 12, second point. And a little bit of missteps here. Cornell had to run around the wall to get to a back corner bunker on the snake side. He makes it clean, and X Factor now is going to be the first to lose a body, and it is Archie Montemayor, so that's a tough death for X Factor. They've still doubled up that back center and allowed Impact to get up the field here, snake side a bit. Justin Cornell and Laval improving their positions and get out of that backfield. Looks like Brandon Cornell, looks like he wants to go from that Aztec, but gonna pause now. I think he's gonna make his move. He's thinking about it. He wants to go, and there he goes, making his move into D1.
And instantly going to gun up over here on the snake side of the field. Billy Bernaccia is in that snake corner. Justin Cornell up in the snake wall. Nick Laval still perusing the middle of the field, thinking about making his move, but I think Rainey Stanzak is just steadily shooting paint this way, try and keep Nick from making that move.
There's the back line on your screen for Edmonton Impact. And with a couple of those secondary moves, you see Laval about to make his move up into the mini wall. And he's been so efficient at getting up to that brick alive. He has not died early very much at all. That's, of course, why he's getting the start. And he's going to go up to that spot, and he's going to try to shut down that D side. The body had dropped off for X Factor. That's where Archie was headed towards the D side. So no one really over there. As you can see, those 4 players for X Factor were all in the back line until Billy Bernaccia made his move up.
Yeah, and that's 2 points in a row that Impact has shot X Factor off the break going to that Dorito side.
Well, we talked about how much of a bloodbath that D side has been. It's been so hard to get bodies out alive over there. That back corner bunker, those Doritos, treacherous spots to try to make off the break.
So how's Billy getting on without a traditional snake? Because this thing, I mean, you're calling it a snake,
but it's more of like a wishbone. Todd was calling it the wishbone. Yeah, it's just we're just keeping it snake side for consistency's sake, for people have been watching paintball for 10 years to not get confused. But he's been doing well. He's been doing really well over here. They've been very versatile. They are sending different players different places, but Billy has just been on this side of the field. But Billy Bernacci's a veteran. He can play paintball anywhere. He can play a D side if he wanted to. But yeah, I'd actually, when we were walking the fields, I was like, Billy, what do you think? You like the snake side? And he always says, even on snake sides that aren't great, he's always like, yeah, it's fine. It'll be fine. I love it. Yeah, it's great. Yeah. It's like playing paintball, man. Billy's he's always cheerful and smiling. And
I keep telling him he's slowing down, but he doesn't believe me.
He is getting some gray hair finally, though. Welcome to the club, Billy. 9 minutes and 13 seconds now. It is a 4-on-4 situation, as Cornell got shot off for Impact from that Dorito side of the field.
Yeah, both teams really talking it up here. Both teams are always really good at communication, trying to pick their spots. Alex Goldman going to move up one bunker into the small Dorito. Laval going back and forth, trying to pop over the top to get a shot in on Rainey Stanzak in that Dorito temple. J-Rab's going to fill out behind Mouse to try and help him get down that side. Mouse bumps up another Dorito. He's wrapping the outside, trying to put the pressure on Meter. Meter in that back center. The first guy that the Mouse is going to wrap on, and Meter is going to get a penalty, but can't find the hit on himself.
Yeah, it's going to pull out Woodley, and they also lost Rainey. This is going to be another first point here for Edmonton Impact. Cornell is going to just stitch up Billy. Billy has to pay the toll to try to, and then he's going to catch extra bonus balls also from Mouse, too.
Oh, yeah. Let's not forget what happened in, was it Dallas? When Mouse went to paintball prison, or was that Philadelphia?
That was Texas.
Yeah, Dallas. So,
in the prelims.
Yeah, I think we forgot to mention the grudge match that is X Factor versus Impact, due to Rainey coming over from Impact to X Factor to help X Factor win these tournaments instead of Impact this year. And then, the minor altercations between
well, it's kind of
many
a headbutt.
Impact and X Factor players.
Kind of a headbutt, sort of maybe a head push, goggle push. I mean, call it what you will, but in that situation, you had Rainey just get into Mouse's head a little bit.
Yep.
Mouse came up and kind of thrust his goggles against him. They called it a headbutt, major penalty. He goes to paintball prison, sits that next game, and then they have that crazy comeback with the Russians with the 9-second point. So interesting how the stories have turned out this year. Going to look here at the overall kill count leaders. Alexander Burtnikov is in the running for the Golden Gun for sure. I think he might be in the lead overall over Archie, but still a lot more paintball to be played for the teams that are going to go deep. But you need to get past this to really have a good chance if you're either Burtnikov or Archie Montemayor. So the Russians in their starting 5. Tampa Bay Damage, Keith Brown, 24 confirmed kills for him, man. That's why you pay Keith Brown. And they also have Brian Smith coming back to the squad. 18, he's been up the center, also playing some towards the snake side, the wishbone side a little bit. Jacob Edwards has had a pretty good event. Chad Bougier is the first attacker on that D side, and then Jason goes wherever they need him, playing mostly back in the back center at his favorite position, Todd, those cans. Jason came up here yesterday and we're like, how much do you like those cans? He's like, no, I hate them. They're absolutely terrible. I can't stand playing here, but what can I do?
That's my favorite position right at the back. It's not far to go.
Yeah, it's not far to go, but if your opponents get out wide, it's hard to live there.
Two bodies walking off the field for the Russians right away. Smotrov got called out up here in the 50 as he ran there on the break.
Yeah, Smotrov, I wouldn't say he's had a rough go of it here at this event because he's had some really good points, but it looks like Golev's going to get shot as well too. But Smotrov has not just been doing whatever he wants on this snake side of the field. So now Tampa Bay Damage has a chance to see if they can stay alive, but they do not. They lose Jacob Edwards in a 5-on-2. That's a bad death for Jacob.
Chad Bougier on the inside in that Dorito, mirrored up with Karslev. Karslev and Bierdnikov still alive over here fighting. Oh, and Malloy tries to dive into that snake brick and gets shot. So just Karslev left alive here. And Tampa Bay Damage, 4 bodies alive.
Still hiding.
Yeah, Karslev. Karslev tries to get across and he gets picked off. So that is going to be a real solid point here. It really came down to those off the break shots that Tampa Bay Damage was able to wing in on the Russians to keep this one close. Keith Brown, the one to go in and hit that buzzer, but nice job by Chad Bougier. Ryan Smith, Tim Montressor out there, getting a start for that point, getting a spin.
Yeah, I think Tim's playing Jason's spot now. I think Jason said, I've had enough. I'm sure Joey Blut's making the calls over there.
Yeah, the story with Tampa Bay Damage getting Joey Blut back here a couple events ago to hold them accountable. That's really been the biggest thing that he's been doing, letting them know in his very blunt way how much, in his opinion, they suck and how much they need to get better. And they've been doing that. They're here now, locked with the Russians. And again, it is November is Epilepsy Awareness Month. And there is money being raised for the Motivated for MAV Foundation. Go to 4, that is the number 4, MAV.org. And you can bid on the very first force ever to come off the production line. And also a bunch of pro player jerseys, some bush goggles, and some other stuff, and some gear that goes to a good cause. And there is the website on the bottom of that graphic. So Edmonton Impact right now tied with X Factor. 1-1, 8 minutes and 7 seconds left to go. Pretty much the same starting 5 here for Edmonton Impact. They're just riding these guys here. A couple changes here and there. But I do like, Todd, we were talking about sending Mouse towards that D side to use his speed to get out wide. And putting Justin Cornell over here on this snake side of the field. Good break for both squads, but better. Oh, they might be losing. Looks like Impact might be losing Justin Cornell. He's getting checked out by the ref, and he's good to go. And X Factor is going to lose Colt Roberts. So that's a good break for Impact. Impact tries to get Brandon Cornell up into D1, and he makes it clean. They also move Laval out of that, one of those terrible cans in the backfield to make his way up into that center. Cornell talking it up with Justin Rabikoff. So a good crossfield spread and some ground taken from Impact. They have a 1-body advantage. And if you're X Factor, you do not want to get trapped in these back spots. They know that. They're fighting, trying to get up the field here a little bit. And then there goes Meter Ninos. Ninos is going to hit the deck and crawl up. He's actually going to beat Laval into that spot. But they lose Woodley, one of their heroes from the last win, as he came out of retirement to help out the squad because Nick Sloviak couldn't make it. So now Meter is up at the 50-yard line, and he is trying to get that angle on Justin Cornell.
So, you know, kind of like what I said earlier, Impact, they have the spots that they want to get to, and then they want to shoot bodies from those spots. right? They're consistently getting into that first big Dorito, blocking off the snake side. Mouse gets out to that corner. You know, and he can shoot shots on the inside. Nick Laval just waits to make his move, and he comes and takes Meter out, shoots Meter in the back, and lives. And it looks like Ryan Brand is going to go ahead and concede that point. But, you know, Impact is getting to the spots they want to get in, and they're fighting from there. They're not pushing through zones, you know, giving X Factor a chance to shoot them, making runs. I mean, I wouldn't exactly call it defense, but it's
definitely not defense, but it's what we've been kind of talking about. You talked about this on day one, was that take some ground and then play smart from there.
Yeah.
See if you can get a couple kills, which they've been, and they're only up by 1. But yeah, I do like the slow, methodical play, but taking the ground is important, especially with the ball up in that center. See if X Factor can stop it. Let's check in with Lauren.
Jason Edwards was in the damage pit saying they just need to play a little smarter. That last point to tie it up, it was a 5-on-2. They lost one body, but the biggest problem is they're still allowing the Russians to make bumps off the field. They need to stop allowing them to move up the field, whether Russians are losing bodies or not.
And here comes a big secondary, some huge secondaries for Smotrop and Karslev. They essentially take the 40-yard lines off the break after shooting their guns. The Russians so good at making these big moves, and they are able to get through the guns of Tampa Bay Damage. Tampa Bay Damage did lose a body, and so it's a 4-on-5 situation. And now Smotrop past the 50-yard line here in the Wishbone. He's going to get an easy crossfield kill. Let's see if he can get a second one here on the Aztec. He's going to get some help from Malloy. Sergey goes up to help out Karslev, and it is not looking good here for Tampa Bay Damage. You can't live in those back spots if you let your opponents get up and spread the field like this. Unless Keith Brown or Jacob Edwards pulls off some low body heroics, this is going to be a real fast one here for Legion to take a 1-point lead. It's a 1-on-none now.
And the Russians, they just put the pressure on you right away, right? They got that first kill out of the snake side can, but then everybody is just on their gun and on the move. If the move is there, they go.
Well, I got a chance, so we have 5 Sundays coming up, our 5-part documentary series that we'll be releasing. The first episode, I believe, November 28th, I want to say it is, about 3 weeks after Cup. But, so I'm going back and watching tons of footage and reviewing all this stuff, and then we had to go do a bunch of interviews with the Russians. They pride themselves on that, Todd. They hate playing a slow, methodical style of ball. That's not what they want to do. They want to push you into the deep water as much as quickly as they possibly can. So Leds, we got Leds up here from Planet Eclipse, one of my favorite people in this industry. We've been working together, played against each other back in the day. I've slept on your couch before up in Manchester, taken some long car rides through the English countryside and drinking at some pubs. But you're releasing the new CS Pro here?
CS2 Pro.
CS2 Pro.
Yeah, that's this. Yeah, it's our latest model. It's exactly the same as the CS2 internally, but we've worked with all the pros all the time, and there's a few little things that they wanted us to change.
And they're like, Leds, we need this, and hey, it would be cool if you did this.
Yeah,
and what about
you
that?
listen to them all over the season, and then like we've changed from a carbon fiber tip to an aluminium tip. They were saying that felt it was too light at the front, and it was too whippy, and they wanted it to be more stable at the front. So we went, okay, well we can do a heavier barrel, but we want to keep the balance the same, so we've really milled it all down, so it's like really minimalistic milling on it. So we can't go any lower than this, but you still put a little bit of style in it, so it's still cool. It says Pro on it, so therefore it's for a Pro. And you get 3 backs with it now, so you've got the different different sizes for the guys for the paint boring, and you get a couple of different triggers with it because some people wanted instead of a blade trigger, they wanted an S trigger. So we're just giving them options really. So
nice.
Yeah, it's going well. A lot of the guys out here are using them as well, which is cool.
Well, you guys have been a big supporter of a lot of the top teams for a long time. I got to shoot some of your guns for a couple of years when I was on Excessive.
Not as long as we wanted.
Yeah, well,
that's another story.
That's exactly a story for another day.
Okay.
So here we go, 6:32. And Edmonton Impact with a 1-point lead, and Impact is going to shoot Billy Bernacci off the break. So X Factor, this is it, man. They can't let Impact start running this score up on them. They need to tighten things up and get up the field. Rainey knows that. He's playing against his former team. Rainey actually has the most wins of any individual player since the inception of the NXL. So,
what's that number?
10.
10?
11. Sorry. 11. So Rainey is now at the 50-yard line, but they lose Colt Roberts. So a couple deaths here. Billy and Colt coming off. And Impact just winning, shooting Billy off the break and then winning a gunfight against Colt. They're not doing anything crazy out here. X Factor just not making their shots. They need to start getting a little bit tighter with the routes and staying alive in their bunkers. 5:38 now to go. If Impact can finally, again, beat X Factor, and it looks like Ryan Rance has had enough. Wow. The coach of X Factor, he's the quickest. Ryan, there's no one quicker in the league at the concession horn than Ryan Rance. As soon as he feels that his team doesn't have much of a chance, especially in time situation like that.
3-on-5?
Yeah, and a 3-on-5, but he's thinking I'd rather go back to 5-on-5 and preserve that time and go down by 2 than let Impact rail off another maybe 3 minutes and now have to have the same point situation, but not as much time to work with. So that's just his logic. He's talked to me about it before. Let's check in again with Lauren.
Keith Brown came off the field into the damage pit saying Moscow Red Legion is giving them the shots. They're just not taking them. They said that they know that these guys want to run all over this field. They're not running low. They need to put their shots a little higher and get them right in the face, so there's no question about those kills.
Well, that would be ideal, right?
Yeah, perfect. Shoot them all in the face.
Easier said than done to shoot the Russians because they're running at you and running and gunning at the same time a lot of times. Oh, Keith Brown dying early here, but really good field position for Karslev. Karslev able to take some ground. Look at this, immediately into the wedge. No one has been able to stop Karslev. There's only one gun on him, and I think it's Brian Smith. Oh, a major penalty assessed on the Russians, so this is an opportunity for Damage to try to tie this one up. That completely decimates their line. That's going to pull off. Wow, there's 4 bodies walking off right now. Karslev is still alive at the wedge, and we'll see if Tim Montresor can. Well, they lost. Karslev just shot Smith. Bougere, so it's a 2-on-1 situation because Karslev is just shooting everyone. Karslev just shot Chad Bougere, and now it's going to be a 1-on-1 here because Tim doesn't know the count. Oh, and a major penalty assessed on Tim Montresor. Oh, disaster strikes for Tampa Bay Damage. And so Tim Montresor right there with his former teammate and coach, Jason Trozen. And they pull him out, major penalty assessed on Damage, and that's going to be terrible for them because they're going to have to start down. Karslev.
What happened here?
Okay, so there's a major penalty assessed on the Russians. 4 bodies walked off at the same time. It was just Pavel Karslev alive on that D side. He gets past the 50-yard line onto Damage's side of the field and pretty much shoots everybody because he shot at least 4 of them.
I want to know who that major penalty was on Damage's side.
Damage is the only player left alive. And I heard somebody say, Tim. Must have been on Tim. And then, Tim's, it's for sure on Tim. Tim's ripping his pack off. He's screaming at Jason Trozen, but I didn't have a hit. There's nothing on me. And but he's shaking his head. So that's the situation. And that's just a brutal blow here for Tampa Bay Damage because, there's Karslev on your screen here in the pits. Man.
Well, it looked like there was a major on the Russians as well.
That's what I just said.
Right? Like
I told you.
But they threw the yellow. Right?
No, they threw a red.
That wasn't red?
Yeah.
It was the guy came through
That's
the
why I
middle.
was confused because I thought it was a yellow, and I was like, wait a second, did he just pull the Malloy as well?
Little cheeky wipe, I think I saw. The Russians.
Yeah, because I think they pulled out 3. And now we're going to see another player. God, Jesus, it is getting dirty out here. Well, TJ got away with one yesterday, so I think the refs are sending a message here on Sunday. This is X Factor's moment. They have a chance, a penalty assessed on Impact. So X Factor down 2 with 5 minutes to work with and 5 bodies alive. They need to get up the field here and start closing this point out. They're going to send Woodley up into the center, and he's going to lock up a lane on that D side.
First time here we've seen X Factor get 5 guys out alive on the break. So under 5 minutes now. X Factor down 2 points. Need to get this one and then get another one. So,
Is there any point Woodley locking it down on that side? I mean, they're not going to attack with 3-on-5. He should be fighting them now, shouldn't he?
Well, yes, but this is the type of field that attacking when down bodies seems to be what's working to pull points back.
Okay.
And also, that's what most guys have been doing to go in there. You're right, though. He doesn't have a lot of time to work with. They have 2 points that they need to make up, so it is going to be up to X Factor to push forward into the guns of Impact. But if you see a moment to go on offense when you're in a low body situation, that's the move for sure out here sometimes. What was that, Todd?
Justin Rabikoff is bumped out over here onto the snake side into that mini wall. He's looking across the field. Oh, but Woodley's talking about making a move, but Alex Goldman's going to get picked off. So, and then over the top, Woodley gets a shot in on Brandon Cornell.
Now Billy's going to come up. Who's going to get the shot in on J-Rab, who is the last player left alive right now for Edmonton Impact. And I think Billy's going to Billy's going to get some payback here. He got bonus balled in that last one. And Todd, like you brought up, man, there's not a lot of love lost between these two squads. With the pickup of Rainey and the fact that X Factor lost to Impact for, I think it was 2.5 years in a row, 9 matches in a row on Sunday. Anytime they met on Sunday, it was always Impact that won it. When Impact first came in the league, though, X Factor was the one beating up on Impact, and Impact, and then now X Factor again. But that's what happens when you play this game for
different type of belief, isn't it? You know, when you start winning, it's habit forming. You know, you go into a match believing that you can win it. And you know, I mean, I know these are all pros. Everybody, you know, from today, yesterday, whatever. But body language and players' mentality. They all have this sort of, you know, we're going to be the best players in the world and we're going to win. But sometimes people are fragile inside.
That's a good point, Leds. Yes, there are a lot of people that are fragile inside, and if you can't be mentally tough, it's going to be hard for you to play pro paintball because it's really, really hard out here. So Tampa Bay damage down to the Russians because of that penalty and because of Pavel Karslev.
Yeah, and they had to start with 4 bodies. And they lose 1 on the break, so just 3 Tampa Bay damage players left alive here. Here come the running Russians. Up to those towers, Malloy and Sergey crossed up. Golev's gonna come up and over. Smotrov already in the wishbone. He's looking across the field. Damage just trying to cross it up. They got Chad Bougere, Keith Brown, and Bierdnikov gonna make his move across into the wishbone. Smotrov comes into the big brick. Heavy guns rolling now for the Russians. Really just trying to force damage into gunfighting so they can get a shot in on somebody, pinching them out. Jacob Edwards is feeling it right now in that back center can. He's trying to go back and forth to stay alive.
Sergey thinking about moving past the 50, but not. And then here comes Smotrov. He's going to cut past the 50-yard line. He's going to get to the tower, and they're going to lose another body. This time it's Jacob Edwards, and they're going to force another concession here. So Legion going up 4-1.
The Russians play like they've got 60 seconds left and to get 2 points all the time, don't they?
Yeah, kind of they do sometimes. Well, you know, like I said, we went and interviewed Smotrov, Karslev, and Kirill, and they were very adamant, and Malloy. And all 4 of them were saying, look, we play aggressive. That's the style of play. You know how teams are like, this is Ironman paintball, or, you know, this is damage paintball, this is impact paintball. The Russians paintball, how they term it, it's all about that. Yeah. Like you said. I don't necessarily think they're thinking just to score 60-second points, but with that comeback that they almost had against New York Extreme was nasty. They ended up losing that game. New York Extreme put up 5 points on them. But at one point in time, I think it was 5 or 5-0, 5-1 with 2:30 left, and they ended up losing by 1, 6-5.
And Archie Montemayor are going to get shot on the break going out to that Dorito corner. Meter Ninos, he's going to get yanked out as well. Billy Bernaccia may have gotten a penalty.
Yeah, minor.
Terrible break here for X Factor. I'm actually surprised that Ryan hasn't hit the buzzer yet. Oh, but they shoot. They shoot 2. Here, there's just 3 bodies left alive for Impact. It's a 2-on-3, so.
Colt Roberts is in that 40 brick on Impact side of the field. Woodley's with him still. 2-on-3 situation.
Not the greatest position to be in a 2-on-3 as they're both locked from the center over to that D side, but actually Woodley, you know, can maybe try to shut that lane down of them trying to move out and spread the field. That's what Impact will eventually try to do here. Brandon Cornell locked into his spot.
Oh, there you go.
Ooh, and he gets him 2-on-2. Can X Factor win this low body situation here? Nick Ball comes across and tries to pinch out Woodley. Oh, and then Brandon's going to get shot too. So look at this in a low body situation. Is it going to go into X Factor's favor. Actually, it's going to go to a one-on-one now. Then Colt Roberts gets picked off, and so Nick Laval is going to put that point on the board here for Impact. What a huge moment for Nick Laval. They're playing on their heels. They had the high body situation, a 3-on-2, and Rabakov is pumped up now. Impact in the pits. Oh, Justin Rabakov is feeling it.
And Impact has just won the breakout here. Every single point. Every single point they won the breakout. That's why they're ahead right now. Smart, you know, when you shoot that guy on the break and you're making those smart coordinated bumps and everybody's talking, you know, that's Impact Paintball.
Yeah, absolutely. So you see there's Brandon Cornell coming off from this replay here, and it made it interesting. Colt Roberts and John Woodley almost won a 2-on-3, but Nick Laval had enough of it, and so he got that kill, a little 2-pack to finish things off here for Nick Laval.
Woodley worked so hard down bodies to get those kills, made some amazing shots, but then came into the wide open and gave Nick Laval an opportunity to shoot him, and then Nick Laval shot Colt Roberts on the bump across to the Dorito.
So Edmonton Impact 6th place, even though they won an event, the very first event of the year, 6th place overall because they had a 9th, a 6th, and a 6th. So there's the two coaches, Bart and Dave, talking to their boys, and they got a real good chance to move on into the semifinals. So let's check in with Lauren.
Thanks. I talked to Jacob Edwards earlier this weekend, and he told me one of the things he still works on and sometimes struggles with is his mental game. And going into this point, he does seem quite frustrated. He was in the pits telling everyone to shut up and just go out and play paintball. Keith Brown told him to get his head on straight so they can go out there and start winning these points.
Yeah, we just talked about how tough the mental side of this is. It's hard. It's very hard to stay positive all the time.
You need to not be fragile inside and get out there.
9-14 now here. Can Damage score 3 to tie this one up. They have some time, but they have not had any answer for the riddle that is the Russians on their attack. But Keith Brown, he's going to now recklessly push in, start wrapping around, try to get some kills here as Smotrov will try to contain the aggression of Keith Brown. Keith Brown might get a shot in on Malloy if Malloy overslides, but he doesn't. Smotrov going to improve his position a little bit. 5-on-5 still here in the quarterfinals. Who is going to move on to play AC Dallas? That is what we need to find out. So far, it looks like the Russian Legion, but Damage has some time to mount a comeback.
They got Tim Montresor up in the middle, locking off that Dorito side.
Heard the crowd go wild for a second. I think they saw the Keith might have shot Smotrov, but it was close, but he didn't get him. Oh, but then he punks out Malloy down the sideline. First kill is going to go to Damage. Ooh, Keith Brown, though, so this is the battle here, too. Monster Snake players. Oh, look at this, though. Smotrov gets the drop in and gets the 2-pack here.
Amazing. Smotrov used the ref. When the ref went in to check Keith Brown, he was distracted, and then that's when Smotrov took off.
Well, Keith also switched sides, but he thought he had Smith right behind him, but that's the weapon that is Leo Smotrov, and his nice read there, realizing the situation. Now it's a 3-on-2 with the Russians trying to close out. It looked like the Damage was going to have the advantage when they shot out Malloy, but here comes Denis Golev, going to finish things off, and definitely got a shot on Chad, and I think that Karslev probably shot Tim, but yet another point on the board here. The 5th one for the Russians. Damage just can't see the Keith grinding the gears. They can't quite get it going over here. Every time they have a good kill, they lose a body. And then Smotrov making that little bit of, I wouldn't say a miracle move, but to get both those bodies, I mean, he had just lost his back player. He's in basically a 1-on-2, gunfighting down the sideline. And Keith Brown just switched off, checked the inside, getting checked out by the ref. And then Smotrov comes, gets stitched, and then falling backwards also trades out with Brian Smith.
Amazing. Were we ever that accurate running?
Of course. Yeah, of course, Leds.
Absolutely.
Absolutely not. No, I was good at some things, but definitely did not have the athletic ability of Leo Smotrov, who's been training since he was a teenager.
It's amazing the skills they have.
Yeah. So here we go. 2-11, a lot less time in this one with these close points that we've seen. X Factor still has a chance, though. They got to live through the break. They're going to get a shot in on Justin Cornell. but they lose Billy Bernaccia. And here comes the push on the D side and in the center. Rainey Stanzik filters out to try to present a threat on the snake side.
And here comes Woodley. He's trying to make his move. Brandon Cornell just sitting there waiting for him in that temple. Woodley trying to get a snapshot in. Hold that corner. Here comes Woodley up over the top. I think he might have just got Mouse. Yeah, shot Mouse in the goggles. Mouse comes walking off. Rainey Stanzak's in the 50. He comes and shoots J-Rab.
And then he might wrap around and get a shot on Brandon. No, but Brandon is able to get a shot in on Rainey. So, and then Archie comes off. So Brandon, they're trying to figure out where these last left bodies. It looks like execution for Colt Roberts comes over the top and blasts Laval, and then goes and gets that last kill, leaving just Woodley. Trades out with Brandon and just completely blows Brandon to bits. 2-pack for Colt Roberts to keep X Factor in this match, and nice job by Woodley as well too.
Oh man, X Factor
Almost like he's limping.
is coming. Colt just came.
Let's check in with Lauren Kelly.
Thanks. Just one short point after I was telling you guys about Jacob Edwards' frustration in the pits. He is being sat for this next point. Him and Keith Brown started arguing in the pits, with Keith Brown being angry that Jacob needs to be sat because of his mental game, saying he needs to be stronger and go out there to help his team win.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard out here, man. It really is. You're playing against the Russian Legion, the second best team in the NXL, which is the best league in the world. And there, we're looking at the pits. There was Colt Roberts, the hero in that last point, with that 2-pack to finish things off, confirmed kills. But the Russian Legion doing pretty much whatever they want out here against Tampa Bay Damage. These quick points. That's why there's still 7 minutes and 23 seconds left. Here comes Keith Brown, going to take the inside route, get into the snake. Looks like he makes it clean. Here come the Russians on a staggered attack and some secondary moves. Getting up Karslev into the D3, and Malloy's now going to be playing the center. Looking like he wants to launch. Keith Brown made that move and made it alive, but he's going to lose his back players. Smith walks off dead.
Penalty.
I don't think Jason was sat. Jason's playing. And a penalty assessed, and then, was that Jacob?
No, that is Jason.
Oh, yeah.
He was talking about Jacob.
I was talking about Jacob.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Keith Brown, I mean, he's still fighting. He came over here, got Malloy off the field, and now he's in the wishbound. He's got Jason behind him. Everybody else is dead.
No,
Keith Brown gets another one, but Karslev is past the 50 and shoots Jason Edwards out behind Keith. It's just Keith and Karslev.
Well, even though there's a lot of heart and fight in Keith Brown, unfortunately everyone dies behind him, so he's about to get stitched up by Kirill Peridny. He's begging for a penalty on Kirill. He's not going to get it. He's going to wear a couple extra, and Keith's going to come off as the crowd's starting to boo. But yeah, Keith Brown also looking at the crowd being like, yeah, keep booing, keep booing. But he's not going to get the call from the ref.
Yeah, he's playing his butt off right now.
He really is. He's going for it, man. He's leaving everything out there on the field. Here in, basically hometown. His mom's out here watching him. He's from Florida, Central Florida.
That's just a testament to what he said. You know, he's mentally strong, and he's still pushing. He's still believing that they can win. He's still fighting, and he's going out there and giving his team an opportunity to win.
Yeah, just they cannot stay alive. Just the onslaught of the Russians' aggression, unstoppable here, essentially in this match against Damage.
I think
so. This was Keith Brown. He's begging for that penalty there on Kirill. It looked like Kirill did have a hit in his leg.
Yeah, I think Keith thought he shot Kirill when he jumped over the top. So I think that's the reason why he was asking for that penalty.
We'd have to see it again, but he had a hit in his leg. I don't know if he did take a step with it. In the pits right now, there's Jacob Edwards and Joey Blue.
It's so hard. We're watching a replay and we're watching it on the TV screens, and we can't make a decision. You know, the referee's got to do it, snap, bang. Yeah, so it's so hard for the refs.
Yeah, it's the hardest sport on planet Earth to officiate. Everyone has the ball. Everyone's shooting at each other. There's thousands of paintballs in the air. It's difficult.
And everybody thinks they killed the other guy first.
Absolutely. So, this game is still hinging on what X Factor does on this break, and Impact, obviously, but Impact has the lead. There's a minute and 12 seconds left. Impact has done a great job of shooting X Factor players off the break. So can X Factor keep the bodies alive? 10 seconds to go before the start of this next point here. X Factor on your right, Impact on your left. It would be so massive for Impact to get back into the back in the semifinals. They have not been in the semifinals since Vegas. They did win in Europe, though. You know you're a good team when 2 wins in a year is not enough.
Well, X Factor gets 5 bodies out alive, 60 seconds on the clock, down 1. They do not shoot any impact bodies on the break either. And here comes the attack from X Factor.
Billy Bernacci wants to get across this lane, and there goes Woodley in the center. Impact is refusing to let Billy, and he's just going to have to push past anyway, and he gets across. Here comes the attack on the D side as Colt Roberts gets into the wedge. Woodley's past the 50-yard line at the center. Archie Montemayor right behind Colt. 34 seconds to go.
Brandon Cornell just got shot by Woodley.
Defense has not worked here very much on this field, but Woodley just got shot out by Mouse. So 4 players alive still and hiding and just tucked in as much as they can. And there goes another body. 20 seconds here. Impact still holding strong. And there goes Justin, and it's Cornell and Mouse still alive. They're trying to find them. They don't know where the bodies are. Only 12 seconds, and there goes Billy. Billy's going to launch. He's going to shoot Cornell in the back. I think they're going to have enough time. 6 seconds left, and Archie Montemayor is going to tie this one up here to take us into overtime. Still 4 seconds in regulation. But they'll probably burn that off, and we'll see yet another overtime. And man, these 2 teams, year after year after year, close battles. Wow. Here at World Cup, the crowd goes wild, heading to yet another overtime here. We've seen a bunch of them at this event, but man, my God, respect to X Factor. They didn't have much time to work with, but they found a way to get through, and Todd chalked that up on another one. Defense not working.
No, defense not working, but again, both of those 2 defensive plays where go to that inside snake temple, look across. If you don't have that wide body, then it's easy to come, through this zone over here.
Up the fucking center, dude.
The guy, when Mouse was in that Dorito on the inside shooting this way, he has the first couple gaps, but once Billy gets across it, he can't really stop the move on JC. And the first guys to drop, Woodley made a good shot on Brandon Cornell in the temple, but it's the 2 cans, right? If those 2 cans have their backs to Billy over here on the snake side, those guys are going to get wrapped on. I think Justin Rabikoff might even got shot much earlier than him walking off, because he was standing there just trying to stay tight and burn off as much time as possible. But with Mouse tucked in and JC tucked in, and those 2 guys being crossed up, then really, they just let X Factor come through the middle to open it up, and then there was nobody that could stop the wires once they got through.
So, Todd, look at this, though. I looked over the scoreboard. It looks like it gave the point to damage. So maybe they went and reviewed it and switched it up. They're trying to get us the information, but on the scoreboard, it's damage 2, Legion 5. It looked like at the end of that one that there was a lot of bodies out there still, but Keith Brown maybe won his argument, because as it stands, it looks like a 3-point spread. So it was. So we saw that. So let's look at it again here. So it looks like Legion was hit. If we get a chance to see this replay before we jump into the next point, it doesn't look like we're going to get to it. But that's the situation. So this, if damage, like Keith Brown said, stays mentally tough in a 3-point spread, 6 minutes, absolutely enough time. Unfortunately, Keith Brown loses his hopper. Here comes Chad Bouger. He's going to run through and execute Sergey, but they lose Jacob. They shoot Karslev. Keith Brown finally, it looks like, might be able to get his gun up and working, and he has Jason behind him, but what a crazy point so far this one is. There's the Russians on your screen, at least 2 alive for them, but Jacob's getting checked out by the ref. He might have a hit on him. Wow, madness out here.
Yeah, Keith Brown, looks like he broke his speed feed off, but tried to put it back on there for a second. Now I think he's just going to play, because there's business to be handled out here right now. 5:42 on the clock, so still a lot of time. And after all that chaos, it looks like just 1 Russian player left alive, and that's Golev in the back center. So
2, now there's 2 of them.
Oh, there he is. Okay, so there's Bierdnikov there in the can. So Bierdnikov and Golev are crossed up in those 2 cans, and it is Jason Edwards and Keith Brown over here in the wishbone.
Jason Edwards needs to get out of that backhand and spread the field out and move towards that D side before the Russians can do the same. The Russians are in those absolutely terrible cans that everybody hates to play. It's really tough. It's really tough to be in that situation. I'm also hearing the Impact wants to play that 5 seconds in the other set, but we got business to handle in this one here. Under 5 minutes to go. Oh, Jason went up to the center and almost got caught there. So it looks like Malloy was able to get out wide to spread the field slightly and get out of that treacherous can. Keith Brown trying to get a shot in on Malloy currently, and also in on that back center.
Keith's got no paint, and every time he jumps in the air, all the paint comes out of his loader because he's got no lid on it. So now he's got no paint. Which is, you know.
Oh,
so they get a bit of a gift with the penalty, but then the paintball gods strike, and Keith Brown loses his speed feed, and now he's out of paint in a 2-on-2 must-win situation with 4:20 to go and down by 3. It's going to be up to Jason Evers to shoot somebody right now.
He's going to lose even more paint crawling, but oh, he gets picked off by Golev. So Jason Edwards 1-on-2. Oh, does he? Nope. Looks like he almost put the ball in on Biernikov.
We've seen multiple 1-on-3 or 1-on-2s and low body situations pulled off here, and it's going to be up to Jason Evers, who's won his fair share of those in his career.
Oh, he's won a ton of these.
Yeah, Jason Evers got paintball famous by doing stuff like this, by winning 1-on-2s, being in these low body situations and pulling things off. Well, there is Alexander Biernikov winning that 1-on-2 situation to put Legion 6 point on the board. So let's check in with Lauren Kelly.
Thanks. I was chasing down Jason Trozen to figure out what happened with that point reversal. In the previous point, the Russian player who ran down and bunkered Keith Brown had actually been shot by Keith just moments before in the knee. So that was a major penalty. Because of that major penalty, they would have pulled the other 2 live bodies off the field for Russians, and there would have been no live players for Moscow Red Legion, therefore giving the point 2 damage. Going into this next point with Impact and X Factor, they actually are choosing to run that 5 seconds. Alex Goldman said that their first line needed time to take a little break.
Yeah, that's smart. That's going to give you a couple extra minutes to get a breather. So they're going to throw in everybody else and just let that time expire, which is going to give them extra couple minutes. So we will be going to overtime. Again, I'd like to thank Planet Eclipse as the match sponsor here, the supporter of both Impact and X Factor. And Leds, thank you so much for coming up here with us.
No problem, enjoyed it.
Pretty good set to watch so far.
Yeah, good. And I'm definitely going to get a win.
Yes. You definitely are going to be having a team move on to play Heat in the semifinals. So that's a good thing for Planet, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, we support quite a few teams, and it's always nice to get as far as we can. We want to win World Cup as much as they do. It's it's important for us as a manufacturer. And I'd like them all to win it, but it's not going to happen. So,
any other new products that are coming out that people could go check out at the booth or check it on your guys' website?
The CS2 Pro is the main one. We got a load of new casual gear and stuff like that. But generally, it's we sort of World Cups at a very important date for us, but extravaganza is when we start to launch stuff, to the dealers in February. So that's when sort of the major new products. So we aim towards that sort of time period, really.
Nice.
But we're diversifying the product range, not just high-end stuff now. We're going, to mag-fed and and sort of field gear as well. So it's good.
So here we go. 3:46. Ooh, almost a bad break for Keith Brown, but he's able to tag up and see Tampa Bay Damage. They need 4. Not a lot of time to work with. Running that body up in the center of the field with Smith, and then now looking like they shoot 2 though, so definitely have a chance. Chabousier got sacked over on that D side, and then they shoot out Karslev. So I think they might even be able to take this one here. Yeah, that's another body. So very quick point here for Tampa Bay Damage. Todd talked about it, never say die, right?
No, not at all. Keith Brown continuing to fight. I mean, they were down, 5-1, and Keith Brown is still arguing with his teammates to keep their head in the game and play strong and continue to fight. And, with 3 minutes left, it's only a 3-point game. So.
Okay. Looks like got a little technical timeout here. So, again, this game, I Planet Eclipse, but it looks like we're going to be able to get another look here at that Motivated for Mav video.
George, you good? Hey guys, it's Chris here from the DC Mavs. We're out here at the 2019 NXL World Cup. We've been fortunate enough to take part in a whole bunch of Motivated for Mavs activities. We were at the Race for Every Child a couple of weeks ago in Washington, D.C., which was a huge success. Over 7,000 people came out for that. Our field owner, Pev, his son has a rare form of epilepsy called SCN8A, and it's very, very rare, only a couple hundred cases known worldwide. So we're just trying to raise as much awareness as we can.
Imagine all your DNA is all red and you have one blue block.
Just, yeah, one out of all the billions of different,
100%. So what has happened is, so they started reaching out and found out that since 2010, they've identified just under 170 children who've been identified with this.
And that's worldwide.
Worldwide. And in the most severe type of epilepsy, to the point where of the 170 kids, 41 of them already passed away with heart failure because it's called SUDEP, sudden death epilepsy. Like, just random, the kids passed away. So, you know, it's a struggle when it's one of your own kids, right?
Yeah.
When you first figure out that somebody that you loved, or like my brother has epilepsy, it's very difficult. But there's a lot of resources and actions that we can take to help and prevent it.
With this disease, and what Maverick has is, you know, it's the rarest one out there. And the thing about it is something can strike at any time. So I know it's high stress for Pev and Melissa and the entire family. You know, getting it out there to the paintball world, that's a huge...
It's not about just my son, it's about the other 168 kids that were diagnosed with this. And the fact when I found out from the special research doctors that there's not much being researched on this because there's no funding for it because it's so small. But yet at the same time, it's so life-threatening. And that was confusing to me. So basically, last year I decided, screw this, I'm gonna take the torch and run with this. So I started creating a foundation, going for the fact to raise money that specifically goes to the research fund. Children's National in Washington, D.C., they do matching dollars and stuff for grants and stuff. So if we raise $10,000, for example, you know, some hospitals will match it 1 for 1, some 2 for 1, some 3 for 1. But I've got to establish it so that these research facilities can open up the research for it.
You know, you don't know what to say to one of your best buddies when their child is obviously not in control.
Literally the most intelligent little boy I've seen in my entire life. He's filled with love, filled with happiness. Medication that he's been taking has been working, has been good. He's been seizure-free now, I believe, for going on 2 years.
Super smart, super caring, hilarious. Every time I see him, he just puts a smile on my face. And I think that's what, you know, draws people into this situation, this family, because they're all that way. You know, they're super special. Pev and Melissa, they have fantastic doctors helping Maverick out as well.
And we're doing everything we can to, like I said, just help raise awareness. We're also running an online auction right now where you can go buy jerseys with pro names and signatures on the back. You can find those at 4mav.org.
Got to jump into this overtime point here between Edmonton Impact and San Antonio X Factor, throwing 5 minutes on the clock. And if we can't get a winner here in 5 minutes, then we will head to one-on-ones, which we have already seen here at this event.
Wow.
Crowd pleasers.
So Impact, X Factor, who's going to live off the break? It's been really hard on that D side. Everyone's going, they're starting 5 right now. So on the break, looks like actually they're going to change things up. Goldman's going towards the center, and X Factor is able to shoot out Brandon Cornell from that D side. That's a huge kill, and they keep 5 bodies alive. Here comes Rainey Stanzik attacking up the center against his former team.
I think Billy got a bounce on the break.
Hey man, rather be lucky than good any day. Archimana Mayor, they choose to send him into D2 off the break, so it's a good secondary by Rainey. Rainey might have a hit on him though. Nope, he doesn't. Referee went in there and checked him out. Rainey's gonna hit the deck and crawl up into that center 50. Which way is he gonna look? Snake side, D side is gonna look D side. So there's no one over there now. So Rainey's gonna be able to stop anybody from filtering out towards that side. But it's time for someone on Impact to try to win a gunfight to even this up. Or if you're X Factor, try to get up the field a little bit. And here goes Nick Laval. Is Nick Laval able to get to the mini wall in the center? And now he's in position to maybe go execute Rainey and get him off the field. Rainey knows that, must have heard that Laval had moved up, so he is going to do a little tactical retreat crawl to get back to the tower, maybe protect himself.
I do not understand what Impact did here. The Mouse has been making that corner. You send Mouse out here now onto the snake side.
They went to the corner anyway.
Nick Laval, they still go to the corner. And Nick Laval launches up the middle, but from a different spot. Alex Goldman is alive on the snake side, but Greg Sewers is in there, and he hasn't played a point this whole match.
Yeah, and so they went to that corner anyway. Instead of sending the faster Mouse, they sent a slower Brandon Cornell. So, and then Brandon got shot. So if they had sent Mouse, maybe he had made it, who knows. But now they're 4 alive, but they're tucked in the pocket. This is, it's really gonna take someone from Impact right now to win a gunfight. That's what it's gonna take. If you're gonna be in a defensive posture, locked in the pocket in the middle of the field, and your opponents are out wide, we just haven't seen that work at all on this field. A couple times, I mean, it has happened, but just not a high percentage play here for Impact in the quarterfinals. But under 3 minutes to go, 2:53 Rainey. After staying at the tower for a little bit, it's gonna go back to the brick. And
Mouse comes across. He gets into the snake mini wall. Nick Laval's in that center mini wall.
Here comes Colt.
He's kind of going back and forth though. Not really sure which way he wants to play.
Colt Roberts just moved up into D2. So Archie and Colt, the 1-2 combo traditionally for X Factor on the D side, even though they do switch it up a lot. And here comes Colt. Colt's going to get into D3, 2:20 on the clock. Here comes Billy. Billy scurries up into the mini wall here, Snake side. Tense moments. These teams just talking it up and shooting their guns in their lanes after these secondary moves. Maybe I mean, it's 4 on 5 still. Oh, and the next body to drop is going to be Greg Sewers, who hasn't seen a ton of play time here and played early on in the event, and he was one of the guys that helped him in Vegas get the win. But they put him out here, and it's just so hard to stay alive in your gunfights in those spots, man. I just haven't seen it work. So Todd, I'm also shaking my head a little bit too.
Yeah, I mean, I just understand, you know, that setup there. They're just full defense right off the break. You know, they did lose a body, but I mean, X Factor, they ran out to this Archie, the Dorito that he's in right now, and then Colt Roberts filled out to the Dorito side, and now he's making bumps up the field.
So if you, and here comes Nick Laval, he's going to come in and bunker out Rainey. So that's going to be a great move here. And then, oh, looks like Archie slips a little bit. And oh, we might see a penalty. We're going to see a penalty, red or yellow. It's going to be yellow. Mouse tries to turn the tables on him though. Mouse comes through the center, and Billy, I think, has found him. And Billy is going to put the finishing touches on this one. And it looks like Archie was also still alive in the center. So yet again here this year, X Factor refuses to give against Impact, comes back and able to get this win to knock Edmonton Impact out of the tournament, and Impact just can't get out of the quarterfinals since Vegas. My God, San Antonio X Factor has another chance now to win yet another tournament. It would be 3 in a row, but they're going to have to get through the reigning world champs Houston Heat first, and that's going to be the matchup in the semifinals.
That should be a good game. As Archie goes and sells it to the VIP section.
Archie loves it.
And X Factor really feeling it right now.
Oh, feeling it.
After when you play a bunch of games and you're constantly ahead, and then you have a comeback victory like that, that just boosts your confidence even more, knocks all the fragility outside of your body.
I couldn't agree more. Absolutely. You want to toughen yourself up. It's a paintball cliche. You want to have those close games. Maybe a loss here or there in the prelims. Just one, go 3-1, but enough to tighten it up and, slap the silliness out of you and make you focus on those game plans and figure out what's working. So now this one, Tampa Bay Damage, if they could come back against Legion, let's see if they do. They sent Jacob Edwards all the way, and man, Keith Brown is just keep diving on that hopper, and he gets shot off the break, and there goes another body, and Russians losing though losing some players though. 3 Russians are coming off. And I think Jacob Edwards made it alive over into the 40-yard line brick off the break.
So Tim Montresor here in the snake corner, looking over with Jacob Edwards. But Smotrov is still alive. Golev is still alive in the back center. There's Tim Montresor shooting on the inside at Golev. Jacob Edwards now bumping up to that first Dorito. Still time on this clock. High-scoring games. A lot of these points have gone really fast, just like this. Just 3, 4, 5 guys walking off within the first 10, 15 seconds of every point.
Tampa Bay Damage with a couple bodies on that T side. Let's see what they can do with this, though. 2 minutes to go. They need 3. They have to start putting guys in and making their moves forward. They can't play this like, you see this a lot of times. The guys, here goes Dan Holiday, knows the score. He knows what's going on. And he's going to come through. He's going to get one. He's going to get a free one on Smotroff. So I think he missed Smotroff. Dude, just go hit the buzzer, Dan. I mean, it still made it look real pretty, but he wasted a couple seconds there. He didn't have to shoot Smotroff. What would have been more important, instead of getting that kill, was to save that. Because if now they're down by 2 with a minute and 45, if they're missing a second or 2 to work with, it could have been from that. Getting a little greedy trying to get that last kill. Still a great move from Dan Holiday, the veteran out there. Let's check in with Lauren Kelly.
I am here with Billy Bernaccia. Congratulations. We are going to see X Factor in the semifinals again. Now, you guys had to make a comeback there for a little bit. Impact took a lead. How are you feeling during those points?
I mean, we never lost faith. We know we're a better team than them, so we're in the pits very calm, very collective. We threw 1 point away in a 2-on-1, so we're all in the pitch just saying, forget that, on to the next point. So we play as it's a 0-0 game every point we go out there. And, you know, we just kept fighting.
I know that Maddie and Todd were talking a lot about Impact's breakout during that overtime point, kind of questioning it. It wasn't a breakout they would expect to see in such a crucial point. What kind of communication were you guys having on the field during that?
I mean, we knew we had kill one. We shot one guy early. And then we were just figuring out where they were, and we knew Nick was going to be up the middle somewhere. As soon as we find him, then we just put it together. There's no need for us to rush down the field. I mean, we just play as a team, communicate, and get through to the end.
Well, you will be matching up with Houston Heat in the next one. You've seen them playing all weekend long. How do you feel they're playing this layout?
They're playing good. I mean, we practiced them. We had good practices with them. So, I mean, they're similar to us. They're a solid team. So, it's going to be a good one for sure.
Yes, definitely. Well, congratulations to X Factor taking that win over Impact. Back to you guys.
I just went back and checked my notes. I think that Houston Heat and X Factor have only played each other once this year. And X Factor got the better of Heat. It was actually at the last event in Chicago in the semifinals again. But it was a bloodbath. It was a 5-4 game. So another rematch between them at this event here, 2 events in a row in the semifinals. Houston Heat, our defending world champions, going to be taking on X Factor. So AC Dallas defeated Dynasty for the 3rd time this year on Sunday. And now it's going to be AC Dallas versus the winner of this game. Most likely the Russians, but only down by 2 with a minute and 44. And they are continuing to eat Karslev up over here. Nice job. But they lose Dan Holiday. So it's a 4-on-4 situation, but they're pushing up the field. Another Russian comes off, so the Russian's not able to hold off the attack quite yet. Keith Brown doesn't destroy his loader on a dive this time. So he's alive.
The new loader.
Yeah, he got himself a new one. Brian Smith looking to cut through the middle.
Brian Smith past the 50 and on to Legion's side of the field. And there goes the kill. And he's going to get another one that leaves just one player, and he quickly gets polished off. So telling you, defense not working out here at all. I don't care what team's playing that style. As the Russians decide to go away from the offense, they go defense, and now we have ourselves a 1-point game with a minute and 4 seconds left to go. The thumbs up from the referee. What an amazing job by Keith Brown, Smith, and Montresor to finish that point off here for damage. Let's get a look at this replay. So look at the Russians. What do? They take all those back spots. Does it work? Of course it doesn't. It hasn't worked pretty much for anybody. Snotroff gets clipped out. Malloy got clipped out. And we're getting another angle of it as that push came through the center of the field. And there was that last player left alive with Kirill Peridny in the back center. And then Tim Montresor able to go in there and hit that buzzer to leave enough time on the board here for I mean, they can't have a regular standard tight breakout, minute and 4 seconds. I mean, you need about 2.5 to go with a game plan where it's kind of stock. They're still going to need to run reckless here, Todd.
Yeah, I mean, getting Karslev off the field is huge, right? Shooting him on the break, running out to that side, and then shooting Sergey right after that really opened up the door for Brian Smith to come up and make that move through the middle. I would look for them to try and key up on Karslev again, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Russians try and send Smotrov on an aggressive attack over here to try and counter, because they're fine playing car crash paintball. So I wouldn't be surprised if both teams go running at each other.
Yeah, so Keith Brown, man, he's 1 kill away from BJ Henningberg, and he'll have a really good chance to win the Golden Barrel, because Pavel Karslev and the Russians are playing him right now. So if Keith Brown can get his boys on damage to win this next point tied up and then win in overtime, he's going to have a really good chance. But BJ Henningberg is definitely up there as well, too. Obviously, he's in first, and AC Dallas is going to be playing against the winner. So, but then if Damage moves on, then it's BJ versus Keith on the Snake side. There are 1 and 2 in the race for the Golden Barrel. So it's getting interesting here on the storylines here at the World Cup. Hope you guys got your picks into my Fan Wagon Playing Sunday Club. At all the events, you can still play Fantasy Paintball on Sunday. You get a chance to win a MacDev Prime. And MacDev came out with the new MacDev Prime. It's at their booth. Go check it out. So here is the Carbon Paintball Golden Barrel Award. And our previous winners, Justin Rabikoff won it in Las Vegas, 46 for him. And then Smotroff stepped up, got the exact same kill count, 46 in Texas. Then Archie set the record for this year, 52. And then it was Malloy with 54. So who can possibly win the Golden Gun? Golden Gun, best player of the year as far as killing is concerned. Not the MVP, just pure killing ability. Who has the most kills? And right now, it is the legend himself, Alexander Burtnikov. He won the overall MVP last season, 182 confirmed kills, but Archie is right there, 187.
What was the turning point?
179, sorry.
What was the turning point of this match here, Matty, between Damage and Russians?
I think it was Keith screaming at his guys saying, hey, get your head out of your ass. Let's do this. We can do this World Cup, baby. Come on. Never say die. Let's go, boys.
And after that, the very next point was when Keith Brown got that shot in on Kirill where they got the point, and now they've gone on this run.
Yeah, so looks like a couple bodies are coming off, or one body comes off for Tampa Bay Damage. They still have 4 players alive. Do they have enough? Can they summon the spirit? Yet again here, just down by 1 with 52 seconds to go. Cutting to the inside is going to be Smith. Keith Brown alive at the wedge, and to see if Jacob can get out alive on the D side, and he does. Back corner bump, but he needs to get up the field. Keith Brown gets eaten up by Smotroff though, and the options are starting to go away but it looks like Smotroff gets smoked, and they're going to ask for a penalty. Are we going to see it? Oh wow, does Smotroff get himself in? That very well could have given Smotroff. I would like to see the replay on that potential penalty. Maybe not, though. Smith's begging for it, and they're going to give the Russians a major penalty. That's going to be an immediate swing point. That's going to stop the clock, and we got ourselves a tie game. I want to see this replay. When Smotroff dove in, it looked like he might have got shot in switches because he had no idea that Smith was there.
He did not. If he shoots Brian, it's a major. If he misses him, it's a minor.
That's why the referee went in to make sure that he actually put a ball in.
Absolutely.
My God, who would have thought that Tampa Bay Damage down all those points in the beginning of this one? They just looked like they didn't have a chance, but Keith Brown refused to let his boys get down. And, you know, it's like a lot of us always say, hey, let's not get down, let's get up. You know, this is a moment for us to impress the world and show what we're made of. Yeah, who cares what the point spread is?
I told my guys before this event, man, character drives talent to greatness, not the other way around.
And there it was, the play. And so, yeah, he got shot. And then just that last little one-handed burst, man, trying to do too much out there. He had no idea that he was there. He dives in. We'll see where he gets clipped as he's going to crawl up. And there's the hit right there. It just broke off of him. The ref's standing right beside him. And then he just still blasts him right there.
And that's the second major that Smotrov has gotten in this match. The other major was on Kirill, so 3 majors so far on the Russians in this match, man.
Unbelievable. Let's check in with Lauren.
Both teams are standing over here waiting for the final call, but on the field, Smith was just begging for that major, started celebrating the moment it happened before they went out for that point. Coach Joey Blue was right here in the pits telling them to breathe, calm down. This is your moment to shock the world, and that's what they may have just done.
So the score still says 5-6, 23 seconds.
Remember, we cannot get a penalty.
Yeah, so the situation here is that Jason's going to have to review, figure out exactly if that is the call. It looked on the replays like that was definitely the correct call. The ref made a good call there. So they're going to put time on the clock as to when that happened, and then we'll get a legit look at how many seconds are left. So as we're on this technical timeout and our commissioner's trying to figure out exactly what the situation is and if that is a legit penalty, which it did look like it was, what a crazy comeback here. And a big shout out to Planet Eclipse, here our match sponsor here at the World Cup, and always been a huge supporter of paintball and the webcast, honestly, for years. So appreciate all your support, Leds.
No problem.
You definitely picked a really good set to come up for.
I was going to say, are all the games like this?
Not all of them, but we've had some really good ones out here. So I don't know, maybe you were a little bit of lucky for us.
I've just been sat in the booth all weekend, and then you come up here and it's like bloodbath everywhere. It's like comebacks and overtime. Brilliant.
This is what I've been missing the whole time?
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's Sunday paintball, man. I'll tell you what.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for joining us here and helping us out. And it looks like we are going to be getting, so we are going to be having an update here from Lauren Kelly.
It is confirmed the point is going to damage, and Russians will be starting a body down.
And then we've had that turnaround point as well earlier in.
Wow. Wow. I'm Tampa Bay Damage. Mad respect to Tampa Bay Damage in this comeback. They've gotten some gifts, but they made the most of it. You know, you need a little bit of luck and a lot of skill out here to prevail against these really top teams, these best teams in the world. So looks like there is 23 seconds going to be left. Let's get another look here at this replay. So here's Smotroff as he got that kill, and then he's going to dive in. He's really athletic, and he does have one-handed kills sometimes, but he's going to get shot right there and then continue to shoot Smith. Smith immediately saw that ball break off him and started screaming at the referee to give him a penalty. The referee had to get in there and actually know that Smith was shot by Leo Smotroff, because if he's not hit, it's a minor. If he's hit, it's a major. And that's exactly what went down. So like you said, though, Todd, the Russians, too many penalties for them. If I'm their coaching staff, this is kind of when I want to slam my clipboard on the ground and start screaming at people, because all this effort and all this time goes into getting those good breaks and doing your due diligence to make sure that everything's dialed in, and it's just getting ruined by penalties.
Yeah, that's so tough. And, 3 major penalties cost them 3 points. Right?
Yep.
That one right there, the Kirill one, and then the one where Smotrov went up the middle. 3 points there. And now you got to wonder, I think if it's 23 seconds left and the Russians have 5 bodies, then they're going to attack and try and win it. I think now, starting with 4 bodies, they might just try and keep their guys alive and take this one to overtime.
We will see. It's all going to come down. Quick points. You need bodies to die off the break, and so it is 6-6 here with 23 seconds left to go. In regulation time, most likely going to see an overtime point. So the Russians are going to send Smotrov quickly off the break all the way to the wedge, and then Smith's going to go to the center and dive low and go past the 50 to maybe try to steal this one. He's looking for kills. Crossfield. There goes Sergey. Sergey's going to die. Holiday gets shot. Here comes Keith Brown. Keith Brown is going to get shot by Smotrov. So only a couple of seconds left alive. These guys got to be real careful not to get majors right now. So both teams going for the win at the end, but neither one able to crack the other one's line. So we're going to head to an overtime point, another overtime point. We've had 3 overtimes in this quarterfinals. X Factor and Impact went to overtime. Uprising and Heat went to overtime. And now Russians and Damage going to overtime.
I love it.
Couldn't get better than this, man. Wow. World Cup. Let's get a look at the brackets. So, here, 2019 World Cup, most important day of the year. Find out who's going to win this tournament and win the series as well, too. That's at stake. Golden Gun at stake. Lots to be going down here still. All the divisionals, those finals will be coming at you here shortly. But DMG losing to Impact. Impact moving on to play X Factor out of that wild card round, and then Tampa Bay Damage took down Revo. Then we're currently watching Damage with this potentially historic comeback against the Russians, giving them kind of a taste of their own medicine. Dynasty did not have an answer again for AC Dallas. It's the 3rd time this year that AC Dallas has knocked out Dynasty. And then X Factor on the comeback victory of their own over Impact, and it's going to be X Factor and Heat. So
whole lot of Texas up in there, Matty. Whole lot of Texas. You got the rodeo tour right there. San Antonio, Houston, and Dallas.
Yep. Texas is the new mecca of paintball. I saw Greg Paul yesterday after the North American Championships, and he comes running up to me, and he's like, "Hey, I got to talk to you about something." I'm like, "What's up, Paulie?" And he's like, "I just want to let you know Texas dominated." And I was like, "I literally just spent the past hour and a half talking about how awesome Texas is." And he's like, "Okay, thanks."
Yeah.
So let's get a look here at the situation on the fantasy paintball. My fan wagon, hopefully you're playing in the Sunday Club, have a chance to win that MacDev Prime. And they brought the new MacDev Prime out, and it's at the booth. So you can see, so we got about a minute left to go. And then, yeah, so get a look here at the Sunday Club and that MacDev Prime. You got a chance to win. I don't think that's actually the color that we have, but that is the MacDev Prime. So, yeah, fantasy paintball. It's an actual thing now. And hats off to my boy Cena for making that a reality. So 6-6. What do you think's going to happen here in this overtime point, Todd?
Man, I don't know. I do not know. The Russians, you know, they've been winning those points, you know, fast, like we kept talking about. That's how they want to play. But a lot of those car crash points, you know, they can go either way. But let's check in with Laura Kelly down the sidelines before this point starts.
Thanks. Going into this overtime point, Joey Blute said that they're going to be doing the same thing they've been doing these past couple points that they've needed to do to make this comeback. He said if it's not broken, don't fix it. So you're going to see them go and try to take this win away from the Russians.
Well, we'll see. 5-on-5 here in overtime, throwing 5 minutes on the clock. Tampa Bay Damage is trying to get out. They lose a body here pretty quick, and it's Smith. They're going to lose. Oh, it's a little anticlimactic potentially here in overtime. I think they're going to lose another one. The Russians finally able to take out Jacob as well. So it was a hard-fought game here, but unless something crazy happens with Keith, I mean, it's a 5-on-2. Smotroff and Malloy just trying to figure out where these last couple bodies are left alive. And then a shot on, yeah, and that's a very anticlimactic overtime point, 35-second point essentially. It took 35 seconds for the Russians to shoot all 5 bodies. No penalties assessed, just 5 clean kills.
Yeah, they shot Holiday out of the Dorito corner on the break, and then they shot a body over here off the snake side on the break.
Yeah, so looks like Malloy getting checked out. And I'm sure a lot of people out there were probably hoping for Damage to try to roll off a historic come-from-behind victory and knock one of the favorites out here. Everyone's always rooting for the underdogs, but the Russian machine refuses to lose and here on Sunday. And so one of the best teams in the world, a team ranked 2 overall, right behind X Factor, and they still have a chance to win the series title. If X Factor loses this one and the Russians go in, if X Factor I think takes 4th and the Russians win, then the Russians will steal the series title. So you can see the updated brackets. So that is the setting of the stage here for the semifinals. It's going to be a battle of the Texas team, San Antonio X Factor taking on Houston Heat, and also the Russian Legion taking on AC Dallas. So stick with us here as we're going to get into this close battles 2019 NXL World Cup here on GoSports.com.
The driving mission at GoSports is to bring you the best paintball content and broadcast in the world, behind the scenes, in the pits, and on the field. To continue this mission, we're rolling out a renovated website platform across the board with easier search functions and a more robust chat system for better interaction with your fellow fans. Dive farther into the game with a new integrated stats portal. Get your insight into the game anytime, anywhere, with an improved functionality across all mobile devices. Check it out now on GoSports.com.